Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Rebel Rock Money Talk. Today's a bonus episode that we're going to do, video and, of course, the audio podcast. And I'm here with my good friend, Tito Walker. And we had the amazing opportunity to go see Oprah yesterday for her Oprah's 2020 Vision Tour that she's kicked off. She's going to be in, I think, 8 more cities around the country this year. And she started in Florida. Whoop, whoop. Yes. So we got to see her yesterday, January 3rd in Fort Lauderdale. And well, before we get into that, I wanted to have Tita share a little bit about herself so you can see the amazing people I surround myself with. But she can tell you a little bit about herself and what she does.
All right. Hi. So I'm Tito Walker. And, really about myself, I'm all about living my purpose, living for my calling, what those assignments I receive, I'm all about that. So going to this Oprah tour was just right aligned with my values. So I'm really about extracting greatness. That's really what my core passion is. And so for a line of work, what I do is do branding. So I do branding for businesses. And I'm all about really finding what their authentic voice is. Why are they here? What's the mere existence of their, business existence so that they can ensure that they're there for the market the way they need to be. So essentially, I'm the vessel to help them craft their greatness to be able to help others, whether it's shifting in their life, whether it's thriving in their life, whether it's to make more money, whatever that is. I am the one to help them unpack their purpose, their objectives, their vision, so that they can just create that greatness, that voice, so that they can move forward and be impactful in the marketplace.
Yes, I love it. And she's already helping me to do that. So I love it. And so obviously with both of us, really, business has really been, we've been very grateful. Business has been picking up at the end of 2019. And so we're just like leaping into 2020. Right. So I think that's the other reason why I was so excited to be able to go to this event. So grateful to even get tickets. Thank you, Lisa. And to be able to go to this and to kick off the beginning of our year.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
So,
absolutely.
Okay. So then, Tita, what were your thoughts? Like, what were you thinking or what were your expectations as we were coming down here to Fort Lauderdale?
It's funny because I try to go experience new things without having assumptions or already prejudged, right? So my expectation was really that I knew I was going to receive what I needed to receive. So without okay, I want to get A, B, C, and D. I just knew the download that I would receive is going to be exactly for me. And so that was the expectation I really had. And and I was able to receive that.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I think, again, just things have been picking up towards the end of 2019. 2019 was a little bit of a rough year for me personally. But I know for both of us, but otherwise it's been great, right? I feel like you make sure that you surround yourself with good people, great friends like Tita. We definitely got a lot closer this year. I think because we were able to bond over some of the things that we dealt with this year, but also our thriving businesses and just, we're in the same mindset. We have the same values. So I was really looking forward to be able to experience this event with you. I think my expectations were from Auntie O that, she would just, give me some additional words of wisdom. I already feel like I've been outlining what I want to do this year and achieve this year and really for this decade. And I was just really looking for her to kind of bring it all together for me, bring it all home, with some inspiration, some motivation and that type of thing. So those were sort of my expectations going in. So now I have to ask you, so we arrived at the arena, we got a great parking space because we got there early. So we're waiting in line and you can kind of feel the excitement of everyone in the line, right? So once we got in, what were you thinking?
Oh my gosh, the energy. The energy of, there was probably, maybe we can count 10 men? And so it was all women.
There's probably more than 10
men. Well, I only saw 10. So just imagine a sea of women who are all coming in with the same mindset of I want to have such a clear vision of my life. I felt that. I felt that. Everyone was just very open to receive. Everyone was very positive. Everyone was energetic. And you literally felt so aligned to the presence of everyone that was there. And that was so impactful because it it like help you want to really ensure that because we sort of have a responsibility too and accountability as humans on earth, and that is to also connect spiritually to other people, right? So to be there with all these wonderful individuals who have that mindset of like, there's so much more greater for me, and this is a tool and a vessel for me to get there. I literally felt that, and it was just like amazing.
Okay, yeah. I would say that what I was feeling was when we first walked in, finally got through security, and we could see sort of like, there was the line of people waiting to get a picture with Oprah's picture and all the merchandise. We never made it to the connection lounge or whatever it was called, kind of like the exhibit hall thing, but that's okay. But I think it was just seeing a sea of people from all backgrounds. We all look different, act different. A lot of people were there from, Weight Watchers or, from the WW side of things. Most of us were just, fans and we were just there. But I think in the time that we live in right now where there's so much divisiveness, that we really need to have wellness. I think people it's not just like a tagline. It's not just like some trend. Like, I think we are really hurting as a country to have some sense of wellness. And so actually I wanted to read, so we got this great, so when we got to our seats, we had this beautiful bag, which I don't have in front of me, but this workbook was part of it. It's part of doing the work. But there was a great quote that she has in here where she defined wellness, because that was really the purpose of this, right? It was a 2020 vision, your life in focus, but it was about wellness. So on page 12 in the workbook, she has this quote here. It says, "True wellness is the healthy balance of mind, body, and spirit. We each have our own sense of balance, which shifts through time and experience, making wellness a lifelong journey. When balance is achieved, we enter into flow, life without resistance." And I just thought that was so well said. I mean, that's really what wellness is about. I feel like people have their own idea, their own definitions of wellness, but at least how she has defined it here is what I think everyone, like, it was 15,000 of us in that arena.
Oh my gosh.
So maybe it was 100 men and 15,000. 15,000. But we were all there for that one common purpose, no matter what our background was, no matter what our health situation was, eating situation, life situation. We were there to kind of get some wisdom, and we're open to learn about wellness, right? And just being in balance. So obviously, we were the first kickoff event. There'll be others, so we're not going to, ruin it for you and tell you everything that happened. But I just did think I thought it would be interesting to share a little bit about what were some of the nuggets that we took from yesterday, and how are we going to really carry that out into 2020 and beyond? Like, yes, it was great to spend a day with Oprah and her team, and
fabulous.
Julianne Hough's Kinergy, I have to say, I know Julianne, I know of Julianne Hough from Dancing with the Stars, but I never watched that show, so I knew who she was. But she has this whole great new fitness movement. It's Kinergy, Kinergy. If you want to check her out on Instagram, you can learn a little bit more about it. But that was amazing. And Daybreaker, who did the opening dance party,
my gosh,
that group was amazing. I couldn't find them on Instagram, so they probably have it spelt some way that I don't know. But they were called Daybreaker, and that was also incredible. So anyway, so it was a great overall experience. But there were some times when we had to, get in there and do the work. And Auntie O was having us do the work. So I'll just turn to you. Is there anything out of what we went through yesterday that you wanted to share? Some part of it that was really poignant, that was really eye-opening, aha moment for you? Anything like that?
Yes. Like you said, we don't want to give too much away, but I really like what's on page 28. So I am just going to read this really quick. An intention is the first whisper of purpose you bring to what you do or what you say. It is the real motivation behind any action, the why behind the why. And the energy driving that motivation is what determines every outcome. Intention is really, I have several words for 2020 or a theme, but intention is really one of the words that I am focusing on for 2020. Because if we're not intentional in the way that we move forward in our life, then all these different distractions. We'll start just running the world haphazardly and not fulfill really what our soul truly, truly desires for us. So I think for me, what really resonated was the whole really being intentional and purposeful with everything that you do. And when she was talking about that, like Oprah, you look at Oprah and you see all, she was saying, you see all the different experiences I've been able to partake on, and you see, yes, I have money, I make money, but she's like, but I realize that, you know what, I'm not really intentional and purposeful about what I do. Remember, she said that, and that was just like, what, you? I mean, you were self-made billionaire, and you haven't been intentional, purposeful what you're doing. And I'm assuming like some of the work that she's done, yes, but she was just basically saying she was looking at her life last year and just different things that she embarked on. She realized she needed to be way more intentional, and that was like a nugget that I took. Like, yes, exactly.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I think she was saying there's definitely some things that she probably wouldn't do again, or she didn't really. For her, there wasn't purpose to it, so she probably wouldn't say yes to it again.
Right.
And I feel like we had this conversation driving down to Fort Lauderdale, is that we've got a lot planned for 2020. And, I feel like in 2019, even in 2018, I had to say a lot of no's. I had to decline a lot of invitations. And I just hope people understand that, right? It's like I'm in a new season. I'm building a new business, and it's growing, and I need to be able to give it that time. I need to be able to nurture it, as well as my relationships. But it just means I can't go to every party. I mean, please keep inviting me, and I'll come to the ones that I can make. But yeah, if there's certain events that if it's not reciprocal, I might not be able to make it, right? I might not be able to attend. I have to be able to prioritize. For me, 2020, family is a huge priority. I don't live in the same city, same country as my family, so I want to be able to have flexibility to see them more. So that means I'm probably not going to be able to, accept as many invitations and that kind of thing. So hopefully people understand that, but it's not, I'm not going to put energy in them understanding. I can only control what I can control.
Right.
One of the things that I thought was interesting was one of the exercises that we did doing the work is we did a quiz, I guess you could call it, right? It was an assessment.
Yeah, an assessment.
Your wellness quotient. We kind of went through an assessment to determine what our wellness quotient was. So we answered a bunch of questions in these different categories, and then we added up our score. And my score was 115. And the 3 areas that I need to focus on, and so it's 115 out of, I guess 140 would have been the max.
Yeah.
Which means, so in that group, it means with a few tweaks, balance can be yours. And I know that, right? I know there's a few areas I need to tweak. And the 3 main areas that I'm planning to tweak for 2020 are, in the mind category, it was emotions. And so for me, it was more stress. It was more like, how do I manage my stress? Because that was my lowest score, was that section. So I need to be more mindful about managing my stress. And then for body, it was nutrition and movement. So I kind of started doing this in December. I've, as you know, I was an athlete back in the days, but I've really not been an athlete for several years. And so now I really want to get back into working out consistently. It's really important to me to get fit again. Right. I miss my track body. I know it probably sounds vain, but I miss feeling fit. I miss looking in the mirror and feeling fit. I feel lethargic at times and stuff like that. So I really want to get back into looking fit and feeling fit for my confidence. And of course, eating properly is tied directly to that.
Right.
So my 3 areas of focus for 2020 are emotions, which is stress, and nutrition and movement. Those are the areas that I definitely need to focus on.
Right. And mine is work, nutrition, and relationships.
Okay, good. And so what I like also is that at the end, when we're doing the assessment, so in this workbook, there's steps to kind of walk through each one, right? So you can kind of, again, we won't give it all away, but basically we walk through each of those 3 areas that we want to focus on. And then at the end, she has a contract. And she says, what will you commit to today, right? And then we have to fill out a contract. It says your contract for yourself. It's your declaration of wellness. Make your commitment official by writing and signing a contract to meet your 2020 vision. As part of your contract, find someone in the room to support you on your wellness journey. Bam. So we kind of already do this, keeping each other
Right.
accountable. But I think that it's important to, write it down, make it plain, write it down, and have someone who can, help you keep it accountable. For me, how this relates to you folks who've been following me is you'll probably remember, and I should have checked what episode number, but I think it's episode 4, where I did a bonus episode 4 of the podcast. It was a bonus episode called like the bonus principle. And what I loved was like everything we heard yesterday kind of aligned with what I spoke about in that. And obviously, we talk a lot about wealth building and being smart with your money and those kinds of things. But it almost like it kind of doesn't matter how much money you have, how well you're saving it. If your mindset isn't strong, if your body isn't healthy, if your spirit is out of order, out of balance, if all those things aren't really aligned, then, what are you building the wealth for, right? What is your purpose? So I encourage you to go back and listen to that episode of the podcast. And then think about that as it relates to what we've been talking about with wellness. Because for me, health is wealth, right? It's all aligned, it's all together and part of it. We want to make sure that our mind is healthy, our mind is strong, our body is healthy and strong, and that just like our soul is strong. We don't want to be feeling disrupted or uncomfortable. We should feel settled. We should feel confident. We should wake up every day and feel energized to like live that next day, right? And so I feel like a lot of what we learned in here and the work that we'll go through doing this workbook and a lot of what she spoke about, it all kind of aligns, right? So I just thought it was an amazing event.
Yeah, it was. And I just want to say, of course, we know life is not always easy. And I don't think we're here to expect that life will always be easy. However, it's the goal is to set specific guidelines for you, or habits is what we talked about, right? At the event, is setting habits that's going to really just take you along and make those, those initial steps to get to where you want. So we're not saying like, oh, run out and just go do go on a quick fast or a quick diet, because that's not healthy. See, it's all about wellness. That's not wellness. To go do some quick diet fad to drop 20 pounds in 3 weeks. That's not healthy at all. So it's really about creating those healthy habits that's going to help you reach the goal that's for you, not for somebody else that you might see on TV or Instagram or Facebook, but really just be with self. Get quiet and see what your soul really needs, and then create those habits that's going to help you get along to the end result that you desire. And that's the why behind the why.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the other important thing that she brought up was, I think she said, healthy is the new skinny, right?
Yes.
And I thought that was important because so many people are so focused on losing weight and being skinny.
Yes.
But that might not, like you just said, that might not be what is healthy for you.
Right.
She talked about just living to stay at a healthy weight for her. And I think that's what we should all do, is like find out what is that healthy state for your body and work to maintain that. It doesn't have to be about trying to get down to a size 2 or whatever you're trying to do. Your body might not have been designed to be a size 2, right? To not sustain that. So that might not be healthy for you. And so in the same mindset, that was when she talked about her physical health, but it would be the same thing for nutrition. Like, don't feel like you have to starve yourself of sugar. If your doctor has said you need to get off sugar, then get off sugar.
Right.
But if you like, for me, like I personally have an addiction to sugar. Hi, my name is Leslie, and I'm addicted to sugar. So I need to. It is a specific goal of mine to reduce my addiction to sugar. Like, there's no way I could do cold turkey. I don't know how I could do that, but I'm aware of it, right? So she talked about every choice and decision has a consequence. Think about why and intention, right? So every time I reach for that chocolate bar or that donut or that cake or whatever it is, all the things with the hidden sugar as well, I'm trying to be more conscious of it, to say, do I really want, like yesterday, I feel like I was so good.
Great.
I'm
so proud of her.
We could have stopped at Dunkin' Donuts because it was right there and I was craving sugar. But I was like, no, I'm not going to go. I'm going to hold off. And I did, right? That's like my little pat on the back moment. But yeah, every decision we make has a consequence. So whether it's with food, whether it's with exercise, whether it's, with your money, right? Whether it's with your business, your family, be present in anything that you're doing, be mindful. What is your intention of doing these things? And, what is the why? What is the why behind what you're doing in any area of your life? It could be the littlest thing or the larger things that we have to think about. But I think that that's what yesterday, encapsulated for me was life is about balance. There's no one way to do anything. And we want to make sure that we're just making the decisions that are the healthiest for us. Right?
Right. And I think one other piece that really resonated with me, you hear it, but for whatever reason, I just received the download. What we think, how we speak really does speak into existence of what that outcome will be, right?
Right.
So one thing that I read in the book that was really good was, if there's something we truly desire, instead of saying, I'll try it or I want it, it's like, no, I'm making a decision to go after that.
Yep.
And then the action plan will come forth.
Yes. She said, don't say, why did this happen to me? What you should say or focus on is, what was I supposed to learn from this, right? Show me what this is. What is it here to teach me?
You're right.
So that's a mind shift, right? That's shifting your perspective and saying, this isn't something that happened to me for no reason. I had to experience this for a reason. What was I supposed to learn from it?
Right.
And again, that can be applied in any area of your life. So yeah, lots of great nuggets.
Yes.
Okay. So anyways, sadly, we have to pack up and get out of here and head back to Orlando. But anyway, I'm so glad that we could experience this together. Yes. Thank you again, Lisa, for the tickets.
Yes.
And so if you guys have any questions, any thoughts about wellness as it relates to wealth or any other area of your life, I'd love to hear from you. Leave comments below. And this is obviously going to be a video that's going to be available on the YouTube channel. But if you're listening to this on the podcast, obviously you can email me at podcast@rebelrockmoneytalk.com and send in your thoughts that way. All right. So till next time, thank you for joining me for another episode. Thank you, Tito Walker. Tito Walker and Associates branding specialist.
Yes.
Thanks for joining me.
Yes.
And we will talk next time.
All right.